Emma was 22 years old, but life had already taught her more pain than most people experience in a lifetime. After losing her parents at a young age, she was sent to live with distant relatives who viewed her as a burden rather than family. While their own children enjoyed comfort and freedom, Emma was expected to clean, cook, and stay silent. Every mistake in the house somehow became her fault. If something broke, Emma was blamed. If money was short, Emma was blamed. If anyone was angry, Emma became the target. Years of emotional abuse slowly convinced her that she wasn't worth much. She stopped dreaming. She stopped hoping. She focused only on surviving each day. Yet despite everything, Emma remained kind. She helped neighbors when they needed assistance. She volunteered at community events. She smiled at strangers even when nobody smiled back. What she didn't know was that someone had been quietly watching. Across the city, Victor Moretti ruled an empire built on power, influence, and fear. At 50 years old, he was one of the most respected and feared men in the criminal underworld. People obeyed him without question. His enemies disappeared. His allies prospered. Yet despite his wealth and power, Victor lived a lonely life. He trusted almost nobody. Every relationship felt transactional. Every conversation had hidden motives. Then one afternoon, while visiting a charity event under a false identity, he noticed Emma. She wasn't seeking attention. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She simply helped people because she genuinely cared. For the first time in years, Victor felt something unusual: peace. Over the following weeks, he quietly learned more about her. The more he discovered, the angrier he became. He learned how badly she was treated. He learned how much she sacrificed. He learned that nobody had ever protected her. And that realization bothered him more than he expected. For reasons he couldn't explain, he wanted to change that. Little did Emma know, her life was about to take a turn nobody could have predicted. When Victor's proposal arrived, nobody believed it. Emma herself thought it had to be a mistake. Why would a wealthy and powerful man want to marry someone like her? Her relatives reacted differently. Instead of concern, they saw opportunity. They encouraged the marriage immediately, hoping Victor's wealth would somehow benefit them. Rumors spread across the city. People whispered about the age gap. They questioned Victor's motives. Many assumed Emma had no choice. But when Victor finally met her face to face, something unexpected happened. He treated her with respect. Not as property. Not as a possession. As an equal. During their conversations, he listened carefully to every word she said. He asked about her dreams. He asked about her fears. He asked what she wanted from life. Nobody had ever cared enough to ask those questions before. Emma was cautious. Victor's reputation frightened her. But the man sitting across from her seemed very different from the monster described in stories. He was patient, gentle, protective. Eventually, Victor made a promise. If you marry me, you will never be forced to do anything you don't want. You will always have a choice. Those words changed everything. For the first time in her life, Emma felt respected. After weeks of consideration, she accepted. The wedding became the biggest event of the year. Luxury cars filled the streets. Celebrities attended. Business leaders arrived from around the world. But despite the extravagance, Victor had only one focus: Emma. When she walked down the aisle, the feared Mafia boss who never showed emotion looked completely speechless. For a brief moment, the powerful king of the underworld looked like a nervous young man in love. And that was only the beginning. Marriage changed Victor in ways nobody expected. His associates noticed first. The ruthless leader, who once worked 16-hour days, suddenly left meetings early. He stopped attending unnecessary gatherings. He spent more time at home, with Emma. At first, Emma struggled to adjust to her new life. The mansion felt overwhelming. The luxury felt unreal. But Victor never pressured her. Instead, he focused on making her comfortable. He learned her favorite foods. He remembered small details from conversations. He surprised her with thoughtful gifts rather than expensive displays of wealth. One evening, Emma mentioned she missed reading books because she never had time growing up. The next day, Victor transformed an entire room into a private library. Another time, she casually admired a garden while walking through the city. Within weeks, professional designers created a breathtaking garden on the mansion grounds. The gifts weren't about money. They were about attention. Victor listened, and Emma slowly realized something extraordinary. He genuinely loved her. For a man feared by thousands, Victor became surprisingly soft around her. His guards joked that Emma was the only person capable of giving him instructions. His employees noticed he smiled more. Even rival organizations observed changes in his behavior. The city feared Victor Moretti, but Emma knew a completely different man. She knew the man who made breakfast for her, the man who stayed awake when she couldn't sleep, the man who quietly held her hand during thunderstorms because he knew she was afraid of them. For the first time in her life, Emma felt safe. And for the first time in decades, Victor felt happy. Together, they created something neither of them expected. A real family. News of Emma's new life spread quickly. The same relatives who once ignored her suddenly wanted her attention. Old acquaintances who mocked her began acting friendly. People who treated her badly now requested favors. Emma could finally understand who genuinely cared about her and who only cared about her new status. Victor noticed everything. He never interfered with her decisions. But he made one thing very clear. Nobody would hurt her again. When a distant relative attempted to manipulate Emma financially, Victor handled the situation immediately. No threats. No violence. Just consequences. The person never bothered her again. As time passed, Emma gained confidence. She started charities. She funded educational programs. She created shelters for vulnerable young women. Instead of using Victor's wealth for luxury alone, she used it to help others. Victor admired her even more because of it. Many people assumed wealth would change Emma. Instead, it amplified the goodness already inside her. She remained humble, kind, compassionate, and that made Victor fall even deeper in love. One evening during a charity gala, someone asked Victor why he cared so much about Emma. The room became silent. Victor looked toward his wife and smiled. Because she taught me something power never could. Everyone waited. What was that? Victor answered quietly. How to be human again. The room erupted into applause. But Emma's eyes filled with tears. Because she knew he meant every word. Years passed. The relationship many people doubted became stronger than ever. Victor's empire continued to grow, but his priorities had changed. Money no longer impressed him. Power no longer excited him. His greatest achievement was the life he built with Emma. The mansion that once felt empty now felt alive. Filled with laughter. Filled with warmth. Filled with purpose. Emma transformed not only Victor's home, but also his heart. The man once known for fear became known for loyalty and protection. His reputation remained powerful, but his inner world became completely different. People often asked Emma if she regretted marrying someone so much older. Her answer never changed. Age didn't make me fall in love with him. His heart did. Meanwhile, Victor continued finding new ways to spoil her. Surprise vacations. Beautiful celebrations. Personalized gifts. Yet his most valuable gift remained unchanged. His unwavering support. Whenever Emma dreamed of something, Victor helped make it possible. Whenever she faced challenges, he stood beside her. Whenever she doubted herself, he reminded her of her strength. Their love became proof that happiness can arrive from the most unexpected places. The mistreated girl who once felt worthless became a respected and beloved woman. The feared Mafia king who once trusted nobody found someone worth trusting completely. Together, they healed wounds neither thought would ever disappear. And in the end, their story wasn't about wealth. It wasn't about power. It wasn't even about the Mafia world. It was about two lonely people finding exactly what they needed in each other. Love, acceptance, and a place to finally call home.